opportunity. Later we'll feel that, oh, ನಾನು opportunity-ಯನ್ನು ಆ opportunity-ಯನ್ನು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಬಹುದಿತ್ತು, ನಾನು ಕೂಡ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರ ಹಾಗೆ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಹೆಸರನ್ನು ಪಡಿಬಹುದಿತ್ತು. So you will feel for that. You will feel for that. So never feel for that. ಯಾವಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ opportunity ಬರ್ತದೆ, make the best use of that opportunity. So there are 6 steps so that you don't need to miss out any of the opportunity. So let us see the first opportunity, that is clarify your goal. Know what exactly you want. What goals do you want to achieve? So you have to clarify what are the goals you want to in your life, and you have to be very clear when your goal is fixed. So having goals provides you a knowledge and skills, and when you are fixed to goals, that will help you on focusing on your most of the activities and priority. So you have to be very clear on your goals. So second one is mentally prepare yourself. When the goal is set, you have to be prepare yourself mentally. If anything happens also, you have to be very confident so that you can it will help you to attain your goal. So that acquire your knowledge, acquire relevant knowledge, skills, support and tools to help you make the most potential of opportunity. So you have to be you have to be mentally prepared in order to achieve your goals. So the third one is network with the people. It is not that you alone can achieve your goals. You also need the support of your parents or your guardian or your teachers or anyone. So spend time connecting with the people to gather new insights, understanding and perspective. People are the one key factor that can help drive opportunity your way. So when you contact with the people, so by interacting with the many people, you will get to know the more knowledge, what exactly happening in your surrounding, or what is you will get the particular knowledge regarding your subject. So always build a good network with the people. Fourth one is question everything. Ask questions that challenge you to think outside the box in creative way about your life and circumstances. So every time you have to goes on asking questions. When you ask the question, that time only your knowledge will build up, so that you will think out of the box. So always you have to question so that you will be getting more and more knowledge. So the fifth one is recognize the opportunity. First of all, some people will think that opportunity will be coming in our hand in a silver platter. So it is not true. Always namge andre yavaglu opportunity annuvantadu ಒಂದು gift pack ಆಗಿ ಬರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. So sometimes we have to face some risk so that risk will help us in achieving our goal. So always you have to recognize opportunity which will help you in your achievement of the goal. So the last one is take calculative risk. So it is not that okay, I'm up to one success step, I'm ready to take all the risks. You have to make out which of the risk you are ready to take. It is not like okay, idu ella risk bandre adanella ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಳುವಂತದಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವ risk ನಿಮ್ಮ ಗೋಲಿಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ risk ಅನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ನೀವು ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. So weigh out the pros and cons and then act quickly to make the most of this opportunity. It is up to you to decide whether or not an opportunity is truly worth taking. So dear students, I hope these 6 steps will help you in reaching your goals. So make the best use of your opportunity. Don't never and ever miss the opportunity that comes to your doorstep. So who knows, one or other time the one opportunity takondaddu that will turns into your golden life. So never miss an opportunity. However, like now you are having a good opportunity, that is ace your English exam. So make the best use of this 6 days webinar series and reach your goal with the as how you are expected. So thank you so much for the opportunity. Now I hand over the session to Dr. Malini Hebbar. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Diksha. I consider it an opportunity that has come my way as well, because not always does one get the opportunity to teach an interested lot of students. I call these an interested lot of students because I don't think we take attendance. We don't penalize for absence. We just tell them that we have something for you. If you are interested, you may log in. And those who log in are the ones who are interested and who make use of the opportunity that comes their way. And I consider it a good chance for me also to address these students. Okay, good evening, students. Some of you have already wished me on the chat box. Good evening. Let's get down to business straight away because today and tomorrow are the only two sessions that we have got. And yesterday you raised a few doubts and you asked me to cover a few aspects of grammar. So I won't have any introductory remarks. I will go straight to whatever you asked me to deal with. Okay. One request was to repeat a few examples of direct and indirect speech, which I will take up later. But since it's an area that has already been dealt with, I'm going to give you a few examples and I want you to work those examples out. And I want you to be active in unmuting yourselves and coming up with answers. Okay. So I seriously expect you to do that, and all of you should do that. Don't worry about making mistakes. As I always say, only when you make mistakes, you learn, because that is experience is the best teacher that you can ever have. So only when you make mistakes, you will even remember the rule better. Okay, so you need to do that. I'll take it up later. There was one more request for idioms and phrases. So I will begin with idioms and phrases. There was also that request that if you could get a list of idioms and list of phrases. Let me explain to you why it's not possible at all to do it. Now, if you have that at the end of your text, at the end of each of your lessons, or at the end of some of the chapters of your workbook, yes, well and good, you can collate that. And if you have any problems, you may question me and you may ask me, what is the meaning of this? How should we use it and all that? But as your facilitator, it's not really possible to collate idioms and phrases. I'll tell you why it is difficult to do that. It's not that I don't want to spend time on that, but then it's a futile exercise. But before I throw some light on this, let me ask you whether you know the meaning of idioms and phrases. Now, in your textbook, you always get this direction, right? Use the following idioms and phrases in sentences of your own. Very often we get that. Or fill in the blanks with the suitable idioms and phrases from the list given. Why is it we always have this idioms and phrases? So apparently, when you have this particular instruction, idioms and phrases, your common sense will tell you that if the instruction given is that you should use the following idioms and phrases, then you know that they are two different things. So my question to you is, what is the difference between these two things, idioms and phrases? Can any one of you attempt an answer? Umpteen number of times you have come across this instruction, haven't you? Use the following idioms and phrases in sentences of your own. So now, can you tell me the difference between these two? What do we mean by idioms? What do we mean by phrases? Any answer? No takers? Okay, I will give you an example. Okay. Now, supposing you ask me, where are you put up, ma'am? Where is your residence? Okay. Now, supposing I'm in Agnes and you are my student and you ask me, where is your residence, ma'am? Now, I can say that my residence is very close to my college, nearby. Okay. Very close to my college or nearby. Or I can say, my residence is within a stone's throw of my college. Okay. Now, do you see that the meaning conveyed is the same? My residence is very close to my college. Or I may say, my residence is within a stone's throw of my college. Now tell me, what is the difference in these two sentences? If you can point out the difference, then you can also point out the difference between phrases and idioms. Any takers? No one? No one to give the answer?
The first one is just a statement. The second one is compared to a stone. Like the distance is compared to a stone.
So what is it? I mean,
An
all
idiom?
right. Anything more?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Who was it?
Shiny.
Shiny. Okay, Shiny. I think you have the answer. Maybe the phrasing could be slightly different, but I think you know the answer. Shiny, you were right in saying that. When I say my residence is very close to my college, I'm using very close to my college, right? Now, I have a group of words there. My residence is the subject, is the verb, very close to my college. I have a group of words there. So when you have a group of words, we call it a phrase. And the meaning is what it conveys, direct meaning, very close to my house. It's a phrase, and the meaning is a direct meaning. Whatever is the literal meaning is the meaning. But when I say my residence is within a stone's throw of my college, is it actually the right thing? Can I stand at the entrance of my college and throw a stone and say that my residence falls within that trajectory of the stone? I don't mean it that way, right? I don't mean it literally. In other words, when I say my residence is within a stone's throw of my college, I don't mean it literally. So, when you have a deeper meaning to what you say, which is not the literal meaning, okay, suggested meaning, connotated meaning, implied meaning, deeper meaning, metaphoric meaning, all these words can be used as the opposite for literal meaning. Okay, suggested, connotated, implied, metaphoric, deeper, not the literal, not the surface, but the deeper meaning. So, when you have a deeper meaning, such phrases are called idioms. Okay? But when the phrases are taken literally, then we call them phrases. When words, group of words, and the meaning of those words is the same, okay, as what they convey, they are phrases. Is it clear to all of you? Very often, if we do not understand an idiom as an idiom, if we do not understand that there is some deeper meaning to it, we may cut a sorry figure. I always remember um, this particular exercise that we had some years ago, not now, and that exercise was called refutation. Refutation was, we would give a topic to the students, and the students had to explain the topic in one or two sentences and then say, no, I don't agree with the topic, and then give reasons for not agreeing with the topic, and then in the conclusion reinforce their stand. That was the exercise. So once we had given this particular idiom, barking dogs seldom bite. It's an idiom. Do you agree with me that it's an idiom? Why is it an idiom? Why is it an idiom? When you say barking dogs seldom bite, why is it an idiom? You know, all proverbs are all idioms. So why do we take them as idioms? because there is a deeper meaning to it, right? What do we mean by that? Barking dogs seldom bite. We mean to say in Kannada you have, right? Bogaluva nayi kachuvudilla. Now, have you gone around putting in some research work, seeing whether every dog that barks, whether it bites or not? That's not the point at all. The point is that we are talking about people who may make a lot of noise, who may talk a lot, but are ineffectual. They are not effective when it comes to action. We have an equivalent of that in empty vessels make a lot of noise, right? So we had given this particular idiom and a student had come up with the answer. Barking dogs seldom bite. It means that dogs which bark do not bite. I don't agree with the statement because I have seen any number of dogs that bark and bite. My neighbor's dog barks and bites. So for these reasons, I refute the statement and I say that barking dogs also bite. Now you see, technically, all stages of refutation were there. Explaining the meaning of the given sentence, saying, no, I don't agree with the given statement, giving reasons for not agreeing with the given statement, and then reinforcing. All steps were there. But a meaningless refutation because the deeper meaning, implied meaning, was not taken. So, when there is an idiom, we must know the deep, and it's not at all easy. For a long time, even after being an English teacher, I had misinterpreted this particular idiom. Rolling stone gathers no moss, right? Rolling stone gathers no moss. I had misinterpreted it because for me, I took moss as unwanted growth. So rolling stone gathers no moss. For me, it was okay. If you're active, you do not rust. That was the meaning that I had taken out of that idiom. But then it is directly opposite of what I took it as. So idioms are not easy. Idioms are far too many. There are number idioms, there are animal idioms, there are idioms taken from nature. There are so many idioms, and it's very difficult for me to say that these are the important idioms go through. All that you have to do is that you have to keep your ears open, your mind alert, and if you feel that there is an expression that you do not understand, you must check the meaning. For example, now I may describe a student in my class in this manner. I may say, all along, I found her to be very quiet in my class. All along, I found her to be very quiet in my class. But ultimately, she turned out to be a dark horse. Ultimately, she turned out to be a dark horse. Now, what is it that I mean when I say that this girl all along was quiet, but ultimately turned out to be a dark horse? Is it complimentary or not? Is the question. Any takers for this? If I describe one of my students in this manner, have I got a positive approach to her or have I a negative approach to her? Any takers? No one?
A negative approach.
Okay.
Positive approach.
Okay. Tasma Rai says positive. And who was the one who said negative?
Akshaya.
Akshaya. Okay. Thank you, both of you, Tasma and Akshaya. So if you say positive, Tasma, why do you say positive? Any answer, or is it a gut feeling that you have got that it is positive? Sometimes, your instinct tells you because of the construction of the sentences. My first sentence was, all along I found her to be a quiet student, but she turned out to be a dark horse. So you see, I'm using that. Yesterday we discussed linkers yesterday or day before, I can't remember. So transitional markers, when you change, they are transitional markers. So in my first sentence, I'm saying all along I thought of her as a quiet student, but she turned out to be a dark horse. So probably because of my sentence construction, you have the feeling that it has to be positive.
Ma'am,
Yes, Sumedha?
ma'am, I feel that the meaning which comes out of that idiom is uh, when we always have a first impression of a person. When we have the first impression of that girl, we thought that she was a silent girl, but then as we got to know more, she turned out to be a person who speaks a lot. So it comes out to be positive.
Okay, correct. Because of the sentence construction, you can make out that it is positive. But Tasmarai has given the answer which is correct actually. If she wins or succeeds unexpectedly. Correct. Now, that is the meaning of a dark horse, which is positive. Who, a dark horse, we describe an individual whose potentials until then weren't recognized. Probably I hadn't recognized that student as a student of caliber, but on that particular day, I realized that she was a dark horse. So, yes, that is the meaning. When you come across this unexpected potential, so it is positive. Okay. So, Akshaya, it's not negative, it is positive. That is why you have the transitional marker but there. All along, I thought of her as a quiet girl, but she turned out to be a dark horse. But quite often, we also use this particular idiom, black sheep, right? In every family, one or the other turns out to be the black sheep of the family. Now, if you do not know the meaning, at least in the earlier example that I gave you, because of the sentence construction, you could make out that from something neutral, you were moving on to something positive. So you could guess that it was positive. But if I say in every family, one or the other person is a black sheep, we have absolutely no idea of knowing, right? Whether it is positive or negative, except for the word black. If you take it as ominous, denoting evil, there is nothing that can tell us. Now, black sheep is actually somebody who brings bad name to the family, okay? Somebody whose reputation is bad. We describe such a person as black sheep. So you see, there are animal idioms, there are color idioms. I may say that whenever I have tried gardening, I have failed, but my husband has green fingers. So if somebody is good at gardening, we say, my husband has green fingers. Does it mean that he actually has fingers which are green in color? No, that is why it's an idiom, because there is the deeper meaning. Okay. Now we call people who are the neglected lot, who are the underprivileged lot. We describe them as the underdogs of society. So you see, idioms are many. So it is up to you actually to check every expression that you come across. If you do not understand, you have to check the meaning out to know whether it is an idiom or just a phrase. Otherwise, you may go wrong. And when you take an idiom as a phrase, as I've already explained, the outcome can be tragic. You may just go off the meaning completely. That is why we have to be careful with idioms and phrases. Now, phrases again, you just can't be prepared with a list of phrases. Okay? Any group of words, when they are put together, they are phrases. And phrasal verbs are the toughest to master. In fact, even we make any number of mistakes, English teachers, when it comes to phrasal verbs. Sometimes we get so confused that we try and avoid those phrasal verbs altogether. Now, what do we mean by phrasal verbs? Now you see, if you have one verb which goes with one preposition, we call it a phrasal verb. But if you go to any dictionary, take any verb, you will see a long entry under that particular verb, because the same verb with different prepositions will have different meanings altogether. Take a small example. Now, when I say look up, you will see that there is a lot of cobweb. So it's literal, correct? It's not idiomatic, it's literal. Look up. I'm literally looking up. So it's the word meaning, literal meaning. Look down. You need to clean the floor. Again, literal meaning. Look down. You need to clean the floor. But if I say, look up to, I look up to my teacher, which means I respect my teacher. I look up to my teacher. I look down upon, that is to be condescending, not to have respect, to look down upon someone. Let's look into the matter. Let's study the matter. Let's look for the word, or let's look up the word, or look for somebody, search for someone. So verbs, when they go with prepositions, the meanings will be different. What I'm trying to tell you is that all those are phrases. So I come back to the same point, that go through your exercises given in your textbook, go through your exercises given in your workbook, and if you have idioms and phrases used in your textbooks at the end of lessons or your different chapters in the workbook, study them. Let's hope that what they question you on in the examination will be from this. And if you have any doubt with regard to what is given there in the textbook and the workbook, you can collate those doubts and come to class, or even send me the doubts beforehand so that I myself won't have any doubt. Okay. All right. So this is about idioms and phrases. Is there any question from your side before I move on? Anything to question me on? Now, you must also know that some scholars feel that we should not use idioms in our speech. Okay? Okay, Tapshira, welcome to you. No problem. Yes. Okay. Some scholars feel that we should not use idioms in our speech because it makes our speech very artificial. That's what they feel. But my opinion on this is that it's nice to master a few idiomatic expressions. They will add a lot of finesse to your speech and to your writing. Okay? But be sure of the meaning. Now, you see, one of my colleagues, she is very well read, and when she speaks, it's a pleasure to listen to her, because she brings in many idioms. So instead of saying, I was annoyed, or I was annoyed by her, she tends to say, she got my goat, she says. So when she says she got my goat, she means to say she annoyed me. So it's nice. And if you accuse someone wrongly, then you say, you bark up the wrong tree. So that is to put the blame on the wrong person. So it's nice if you can master a few idioms, but some idioms are very, very common. So those would come under the category of cliches. For example, I was green with envy. How many people have used that idiom, green with envy? No, it doesn't sound that nice. So probably when idioms are too common, you needn't use them. But if you have an idiom which is nice, use them, use it. But in case you feel that nobody will understand the idiom that you have used, probably you will have to take care to show at least the tone, whether it is positive or negative. All right. So if you have nothing more to, if you have no response to idioms and phrases exercise, not exercise, input, I will move on. Any question from you? Okay. So as I said, before I go to direct and indirect speech, am I with you or am I lost? Am I with you? Audible, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Between something seemed to get stuck, so I wondered whether I was audible or not. Okay. Now, after that, I will take up one more concept and then finally go to a few exercises on direct and indirect speech. One more concept is that I did not deal with pronouns. One of your exercises is on pronouns, right? Now, I consider the exercise that you have in your examination the easiest to score marks. So please see that you keep for yourself enough time to answer this particular exercise on pronouns, because you are sure to get marks there, full marks there. They have simple examples like the king went to his palace, he found it resplendent, and they will underline it and they ask you what that it refers to, and you'll have to say it refers to the palace. So your exercise in the examination is pretty simple. So don't leave that exercise out. Make sure that you have enough time to deal with that particular exercise. But we can make mistakes with pronouns when we speak and when we write. So I will not go into great details about pronouns, the different types of pronouns, reflexive pronoun, possessive pronoun, emphatic pronoun, and all that. But I will just focus on a few common errors that I have come across, and I will explain to you as to why they are errors. Okay. So I will give you two sentences now. Take them down. I don't have it on my screen, so I'm going to dictate the sentences to you, and I request all of you to take down the sentences so that you can be active in your discussion. Okay. The first sentence is, this is the student. This is the student dash I helped. Okay. First sentence is, this is the student dash I helped. Next sentence is same one. This is the student dash helped me. Okay. First sentence, this is the student dash I helped. Second is, this is the student dash helped me. Now, if I give you who and whom within brackets, who, W-H-O, and whom, W-H-O-M, within brackets, tell me how you would fill in the blanks and why. I'll give you maybe a few seconds.
Ma'am.
This is the
Ma'am.
students whom I helped.
Okay, Preeti Fernandez has typed it on the chat box, and Sumedha has given the answer, unmuting herself.
Ma'am, I
Correct.
didn't
This
get
is
ma'am.
the student ma'am, I give the answer.
Who gave the answer?
Shireen.
Shireen. Very good, Shireen. Yes. Kishal also has given the right answer on the chat box. Very good.
The
All of
second
you.
one is, this is the students who helped me.
Okay, correct. Tapshira has given it Ma'am, please do screen sharing. Tapshira, for this I have not put it on a Word file. That is why I gave it to you and I asked you to write it down, because I haven't put it on a slide. Okay. Okay. All those who have given the answers, you're right. But now, who will take the challenge of giving an explanation as to why it is whom in the first sentence and why it is who in the second sentence? Any takers for the explanation?
Ma'am.
So I have Akshaya, I have
Ma'am.
not Tapshira, Kishal, Preeti
Ma'am.
Fernandez, all of them giving the yes. Yes. Sumeda, yes, Sumeda.
Ma'am, in the first sentence, there is a pronoun appearing after the blank.
Okay.
Hence, we use whom. And in the second sentence, there is no pronoun. It's only the verb form, which is why who is used.
Okay. You are right, Sumeda. I'll once again use terms that we use while explaining grammar. That is, you see, you have two pronouns, two forms of the pronoun, right? Whom and who. What we say is that whom is the objective pronoun. It serves as the object, not as the subject. Do you get the point? Whom do you like? I like her. I like him. So, her when you say, him when you say, that is the objective form. In the same manner, whom is the objective form, right? Who is the subjective form. See, all pronouns have this. Subjective, objective. I, me. I helped my brother. My brother helped me. We typed out the letter. They gave the letter to us. I gave them the letter. So you see, every time the subjective pronoun acts as the subject of the sentence, and that becomes the subject for the verb also. Whereas objective pronoun is the object of the verb. So in the first sentence, when you say, this is the student whom I helped, whom is the object of the verb helped. I helped the student. So the student is the object, and because it is the object, we will write whom I helped. Whereas in the next sentence, this is the student who helped me. Who is the subject for the verb helped. So this is the student who helped me. So you can't say whom helped me, whom I helped, but who helped me. So sometimes you go wrong with the subjective and objective form of the pronouns. So always what you have to look at and remember is whether the pronoun acts as the subject of the verb to follow, or whether it is the object of the verb which is already there. Okay, that is one thing that you need to remember when it comes to pronouns. Now, there is something that is tricky. I will give it to you only from the examination point of view, but in real life situation, grammar hasn't remained so rigid now. Grammar has become a little, when we were students, it was very, very rigid. If I stood at the entrance of the classroom and if I asked my teacher, can I come in, ma'am? She would tell me, if your legs have the strength to bring you in, you can come in, because can stood for physical ability. and it did not stand for request. But now we say that it's okay. Even if a student says, can I come in? We take it as a form of, can I come in please? If she says, we take it as a form of request. So grammar also keeps changing, and grammar has become less and less rigid. However, even now in competitive exams, certain rules are still followed. So I will give you one more example. Take it down and you tell me which of the sentences is right. Okay. So you take down, I'm also writing down as I dictate. My daughter is taller than me. First sentence is, my daughter is taller than me. Second sentence is, my daughter is taller than I. First sentence is, my daughter is taller than me. Second sentence is, my daughter is taller than I. Which of the two sentences is right?
Ma'am, first one.
First one, ma'am.
Okay. Preeti first, Kishal first. And who were the ones who unmuted and said first?
Shireen.
Shireen. Sumedha, okay. Yashaswini first. Shaini Manisha first, okay. All right. That's why I said I will give it from the point of view of some grammatical structures, which are rules which are still acceptable. Strictly speaking, it is the second one that is right. I'll explain to you as to why. The second one is right because when I say my daughter is taller than, what do I mean? Taller than I am. Am I right? When I say my daughter is taller than I am, that's what I'm trying to say, right? That is why I write I and I leave out am for convenience. It is understood to be there. So grammatically correct sentence is actually the second one. Having said this, let me say that when you talk, you will hear probably 99 on 100 saying that it is me, my daughter is taller than me. That's how people talk. And long back in Reader's Digest, there was a joke even. You know, there was a knock on the door of heavens, and I believe Saint Peter asked, who is it? And the person at the door said, it's I. So Saint Peter is supposed to have said, oh, not another English teacher, please. Because only English teachers would say, it's I, because it's I, in the sense, the person who is knocking at the door. So the rest of the world would say, it's me. In the same manner, all of us would write, my daughter is taller than me, and we would also talk in this manner, and we would say, my daughter is taller than me. But strictly speaking, if you want to know the rule of pronoun, it is, my daughter is taller than I, because the sentence conveys the idea, my daughter is taller than I am. Okay. Now, let me move on to one common mistake, which I do not want you to make in your letter writing. That is why I give you this example. Take down the example. If I say, this garden, okay, this garden is theirs. This garden is theirs. THEIR apostrophe S. Okay. This garden is theirs. THEIR apostrophe S. Second sentence is, this garden is theirs without the apostrophe S. Did you get it? The first sentence is, this garden is theirs, THEIR apostrophe S. Second example is, this garden is theirs without the apostrophe, just S without the apostrophe. So which one would you choose? Second. Okay, Preeti Fernandez says second. Ashwini, okay. All right. I see this alternately.
The first one, ma'am.
Okay. First one. So I have this alternate answer. Some saying first, some saying second. All right. Which means that there is a little bit of confusion over this particular rule. But Preeti Fernandez was right in saying second one. Okay. Now let me tell you why. This is an important rule even in your letter writing. When you bring your letter to a complimentary close, what do you write? Tell me. What do you write? In letter writing, when you bring...
Yours faithfully.
Correct.
Yours
Without an
faithfully.
apostrophe.
Yours faithfully. Now, when you write yours faithfully, do you write apostrophe S or not?
No.
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 Why is it that you don't write apostrophe S? Because when you have possessive pronouns, your, their, okay, her, those are all possessive pronouns, right? Their book, her book, your book. So they are possessive pronouns. So when you use possessive pronouns with S, if you put the apostrophe, then it is as though you are leaving out a letter there. So yours, if you put with apostrophe S, it is like saying your is faithfully. Okay. So if you write, this garden is theirs with the apostrophe S, it is like saying this garden is there is. Grammatically completely wrong. So Preeti was right in saying that it is the second one. This garden is theirs without apostrophe S. Please remember, even in the letter writing, never ever put apostrophe when you write yours faithfully. Now I give you a similar example. Think about it. I've already told you, when you put the apostrophe, it shows that you have left out a letter with possessive pronouns, that is, okay? So now I will give you two more sentences. My first sentence is, it's raining. It's raining. IT apostrophe S and RAINING. It's raining. IT apostrophe S RAINING. Second is again, it's IT apostrophe S. Okay. Its cost is high. Its cost is high. Now keep the explanation that I have given in mind. Okay, Vignesh Shetty has already answered. Correct? Okay. Which is the right one? Yes, many are giving the answer. Yes. All of you are saying first. Very good. So it shows that you have completely understood now the business of writing apostrophe S with possessive pronouns, because in the first one, when you say ITS, it is just the pronoun, is the verb. It is raining. So apostrophe S stands for is and it shows the verb. In the second, it's the possessive pronoun. So if you say it's with the apostrophe, it is cost is high. So it goes completely wrong. Okay. So this is one more area that you have to keep in mind. Now, I will give you one very tough example which many make mistakes with. So let me see that. Again, take down the, I have, somebody wanted me to share the screen. I have intentionally decided not to share the screen for these, although I have it on a Word file, because I want you to be involved, at least putting down something. Otherwise, if you simply sit and listen to something, you will not, okay, internalize anything, remember anything. Now take down another example. First one, I enjoyed a lot. I enjoyed a lot. Second one, I enjoyed myself. Third one, I enjoyed. Fourth one, I enjoyed the movie. I'll repeat myself. First one, I enjoyed a lot. Second one, I enjoyed myself. Third one, I enjoyed. Fourth one, I enjoyed the movie. Now there are 4 sentences here. Again, it's up to you to tell me whether all 4 are right, whether all 4 are wrong, how many are right, how many are wrong, is it one that is right, 2, 3, 4, it's left to you. So think about it and come up with your answer. Now, Lavanya says 4th. You mean to say 4th is right, is it? Are you all giving me the right sentence? Lavanya, Yashaswini also says 4th. Are you all giving me the right sentence? When you say 4th, okay. Maybe all are right. That is what Preeti says. Okay, Lavanya and okay. Sana, second. Tasma, first and fourth. Okay. Done. Ashwini, first. First and second, Vignesh. I'm still waiting. Okay. Second, third, fourth, Sumedha. Fourth by Kishal. Vignesh, third one also. Okay. I waited to see whether I would get the right answer from any one of you. Unfortunately, no. The right answers here are the second and the fourth. The second and the fourth. Okay. Let me explain why. Most of us talk in this manner. The first sentence, for example, any number of people would have said, I enjoyed a lot, we enjoyed a lot. That's how we talk. But please remember, there are a few verbs which should be followed by either a reflexive pronoun, what we call a reflexive pronoun, or an object. Okay? Now, what do we mean by reflexive pronoun? When I say myself, himself, herself, yourself, themselves, ourselves. Now listen to me carefully. Myself, always singular. So you can never have myself. Myself. himself, him, one, himself, S-E-L-F, herself, S-E-L-F, yourself or yourselves, because your can refer to one, your can refer to many. So I can say, you yourself must attempt an answer, or I can say you yourselves, if I mean all of you, must attempt an answer. So with your, we can write self if we mean one, selves if we mean many. Okay. Ourselves always, because our is plural. We are. So it has to be ourselves. So if you say ourself, it is wrong. Ourselves. Similarly, themselves, always plural. Them, they, them. So always plural. So it has to be themselves. That is one thing other than the examples that I've given here. Now coming back to the point that I was trying to make a little while ago, there are a few verbs which should be followed by what I explained just now as reflexive pronouns or an object. Now, if you look at these sentences, you will see that the second has the reflexive pronoun. I enjoyed myself. If I just say, I enjoyed so much, I enjoyed a lot, all these sentences are grammatically wrong because there isn't a reflexive pronoun or an object. In the fourth, I enjoyed the movie. What did I enjoy? I enjoyed the movie. So, there are a few verbs, not only enjoyed. Now, even when you say, I washed before going to bed. Washed what? You can either say, I washed myself before going to bed, or I washed vessels before going to bed. You can't say, I washed before going to bed. It's incomplete. Okay. So, reflexive pronoun or object. This is also under common errors. So, I just drew your attention to it because I have come across this error any number of times. Okay. Now, of course, there are many things that we can say. Okay, before I wind up, one more thing. The same form, myself, yourself, himself, herself, can act in two ways. In this case, it is the reflexive pronoun, but it can be an emphatic pronoun. For example, if I say, I myself did everything. See, let me explain myself again. Now, if I say, I enjoyed myself, here it is the reflexive pronoun. I enjoyed myself. But if I say, I myself did everything, myself, there is what we call emphatic pronoun. Okay. One more thing I have to say, otherwise it will not be complete. That is, we should also keep in mind whether the antecedent of the pronoun, we must always keep the antecedent of the pronoun in mind when we choose the pronoun. For example, if I say, the mother and daughter went to the shop. The mother and daughter went to the shop. Full stop. She did not find anything suitable. Do you get the point? The mother and daughter went to the shop. Full stop. She did not find anything suitable. Is it correct English? Is it correct English? Did you all get the sentences? The mother and daughter went to the shop. Full stop. She did not get anything suitable. Is it correct English? No answer? Now, when you use the pronoun she in the second sentence, Look at the antecedent. The antecedent of the pronoun, you have two antecedents, mother, daughter. There are two antecedents. So you do not know when you say she did not find anything suitable, you do not know whether the pronoun she refers to the mother or the daughter. So if you do not know, if you have to show who it is, whether it's the mother or the daughter, how would you do that? Either you will repeat, the mother and the daughter went to the shop. The mother did not find anything suitable. Fine. Or the daughter did not find anything suitable. Fine. Or they did not find anything suitable. Fine. Because mother and daughter are they. Even if you want to say neither of them found anything suitable, fine. But you cannot write she because there are two antecedents and she stands for singular. Very often we are not even aware of the mistake that we make. For example, if I say, India as a nation has many problems. India as a nation has many problems. Full stop. It has to be solved. India as a nation has many problems. It has to be solved. Did you get my two sentences? India as a nation has many problems. Full stop. It has to be solved. What is the problem here? Again, the same problem. India as a country has many problems. Problems is in the plural. Now, if I say it has to be solved, then what is that it? You do not have antecedent, singular antecedent. They have to be solved because they will refer to the plural antecedent of problems. Okay. So these are the areas to be borne in mind when it comes to nouns and pronouns. Now the time is already 8:03. So what I'll do is I will share my screen. You can take a screenshot of what I have as examples of direct and indirect speech. Work those examples out and come to class. See, right now, did you listen to me carefully? I said, I have examples of direct and indirect speech. Work those out, I said. Or work them out, I can say. Work it out if I say I'm wrong, because I have many examples, okay? All right. So I will share my screen to give those examples to you. Can you all see? So take a picture of these examples and we will begin with the discussion tomorrow of these examples. Okay. Have you all taken a picture of this? Done? Because I have one more.
Done.
Okay, if you could, 1 minute, I just want to. Now I have given one more. Put in the apostrophe or apostrophe S correctly. Okay. So take this down or take a picture of this. I want you to work out both because these are all important for your proficiency in language. Okay, when it comes to writing. Finished? Did you all finish? Can I stop sharing or do you want me to keep it for some more time? Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right. Okay. Shiny Manish also says done. So that will be your homework, dear students. And as I said, tomorrow would be the very last class. So I repeat myself, you are on the group, aren't you? WhatsApp group. So if you want me to prepare some other concept, prepare myself and come, then you must give me those concepts at least by, say, 10 in the morning, because I have a session at a college at 2:30 or 3. I'm not very sure. I have to check the time. So I will not have time later on. So if you give me before 10 a.m. tomorrow, I can prepare myself and I can come to class, anything in general. Otherwise, I will take this up at the beginning, and I will also have one evaluation test for all of you. Okay? Just to see where you stand. But don't worry, I'm not going to ask you. You are going to correct your own paper. I'm not going to ask for your score or anything like that. But for you to see whether you have got anything at all out of these classes, I can have one evaluation. Okay? All right. It's nearing 8:10. Okay. Thank you, Preeti. It's nearing 8:10. So shall we wind up?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Diksha. Shall we wind up, Diksha?
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am. Good night.
Good
Thank
night.
you,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Good night.
Today the number has come down drastically
Yes,
to
ma'am.
22. There are only 22 of them. We were